All right, so we're on page 4, okay? And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be practicing features on on your face, okay? Not necessarily placement, because I know we've gone over this once before, but we're going to be looking at the different features, okay? Now, you probably will need at some point to stop this video, and go look up different hairstyles, okay? And maybe go look up different eyes, and that's absolutely fine. So for the first one, hair. Just so you know, there's certain places that these features go onto. So I'm going to actually zoom in right here. There we go. All right. So just so you know, for the most part, your head, okay, your face, is a certain number of equal parts, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? That's the very top of your head to the very bottom. This is not including your hair, okay? Your eye line is in the center of your head, okay? And then we have other places like your nose is halfway, okay? We have our lip line. Now, depending on which way you look, some people will draw it 1, 1/8, or it's actually in between, a little bit in between, okay? Your eyebrows go a little bit before, and your hairline is 1/8, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna look online, okay? Now there's men and women, okay? So these are my women, these are my men. And you're gonna create different hairlines, now different hairstyles. Now just so you know, hair for anyone, okay, just doesn't start up at the top. You have to drop it down a little bit to create the different hair, okay? And when you do create hair, okay, you want to kind of put strands to kind of show where this hair is going, okay? You may look up drawing of hair, okay, to get your different styles in here, all right? So when I'm looking at this design here, I'm looking for hair to be in its proper place. For the men, okay? It's not in one section, okay? It actually curves around in the back, okay? So you're gonna, once I said, look it up, and you're gonna draw where the hair is. Now, one thing about this is, I'm going to actually zoom this out, okay, is that you don't want to leave it just solid, okay? You want to add in little bits of hair to show the direction of where the hair is going, and that it's made up individual little strands, okay? All right, so that's the hair, and you're going to complete each heads. Onto the eyebrow. All right. Now, there's a couple of things about eyes. I'm going to show you in here, and you're going to copy this, but then you're going to draw your own 2 eyes, and I want, not your own 2 eyes, that's awesome. You're going to look online, and you're going to draw 2 in each section, okay? So you're going to have 2 eyes, there'll be 2 noses, and 2 mouths. Little bits of information. Okay, so if you can kind of see up in the example here, it's kind of how I'm going to break it down, all right? So you're going to start off with the circle, lightly, very lightly, okay? So imagine that this is the eyeball. You don't see everything in the eyeball, okay? So we're going to just cut it down. That's what we can see. All right. Now, the eye duct kind of comes down and it curves around just a little bit. All right. So inside we have the iris and we have the pupil. So I'm just going to erase this. Iris, okay, is that color part. And if you look at your eye, okay, in the mirror, you're going to find that you don't see the whole thing, okay? You either see the top or the bottom, or you don't see the top and the bottom at all, okay? If you see the top and the bottom, your eyes are open really wide. Pupil, all right. So the pupil, just so you know, okay, is never really, when you're drawing them, really teeny or really big, okay? The really big is kind of like when your eyes are dilated, okay? They're really big, or if they're really small, it tends to be, you might have a headache, okay? Now the eye shape right here, it's kind of like a football that goes around it. Now some people have different shapes. Some might have it a little bit higher in this area and then come down, but for the most part it's a football shape, okay? Now, as you can kind of see in the example, they tend to be shaded underneath the lid, okay? I'm gonna rub it. Your pupil, or excuse me, the iris, normally has a color to it because they're colored, all right? If you want, you can put some of those little lines in, okay? Underneath, or excuse me, above your eyelid, there's like a crease, okay, up, down. Normally follows along with your eyelid, okay? And when you have your eyebrows, all right, they normally go in a nice direction, okay? And they're individual lines, okay? Not many people in middle school have unibrows, so 2 is normally the optimal ones that you want to do. Now, when we're trying to figure out where to place these little lines, above your eye duct is kind of like right where you start, and it's normally a little thicker, and then it trails out actually on an angle, okay, where that is, okay, where it kind of ends, and it ends in a point. Now, by the way, eyebrows are all different shapes and sizes, and it's absolutely fine. Now, eyelashes, honestly, you can put in a few, but I wouldn't go too crazy. I put a little bit, and on the bottom, they're very small, almost to the point where you don't even really need to put them in, okay? All right, so over here, you're gonna do 2 eyes, 2 different eyes. I prefer those 2 eyes, by the way, to look different ways, okay? So we get comfortable. Sometimes just doing it one way, well, we gotta break it up. All right, nose. Okay, so the nose, as we can kind of see, is broken up into circles, and then we kind of go through and we break it down. All right, so we're gonna start with a nice circle here, circle here, circle here, okay? You don't wanna put, so noses, a lot of times people wanna be like, oh, this is a nose. Yeah, that's not a nose, it's weird, okay? So we're gonna go in, and we're gonna add in side, okay, and come down and over. Now the bottom here looks kind of like an M, down and around. There we are. Okay, we have the curved part up, curved part up. Now with the part that kind of goes up, now a lot of times people want to bring this up all the way, but honestly you just have to kind of like do a little shading to indicate that's coming up. Just like this one. Okay, now you can kind of see some of this down here on the other parts of your paper, okay, the women. You just put the bottom, okay? Even the ones up here, it's just a little bit curved, but you're not putting the whole nose in. It's almost like you have an implied line that you just make the viewer kind of connect it, okay? All right. There we are. And if you need a shade underneath here, that's absolutely fine. All right, so 2 different noses. And by the way, noses do look different too. All right, your lips. Oh, one of the fun things to draw. Okay. 3 circles. Now, I tend to do mine slightly different than this one, okay? The way I do it is I actually do a lower circle with 2 circles on top, kind of a little bit different than this way, but if you like this way better, that's absolutely fine, okay? We start by putting in the line here, okay? We go up. Now, depending on how your lips go, this like little indent here, some are dramatic, some are not dramatic, up and down. Down, okay? Now you'll probably notice that lips are normally shaded on one side and on the bottom, okay? And the highlighted areas, okay, normally the center is a little bit lighter. There we are. Now, I have yet to figure out what this word is that everyone's always saying, oh, it's the little valley. Yeah, the little valley. Normally you want to shade that, okay? There we are. Nice little lips. All right, for this, you're going to do 2 more lips as well, okay? Now you can kind of see almost a face kind of coming out. And if you ever want to try this, put them all together, map out your face, do everything in the right spot, and then let me tell you, it's going to look great.